Yo and hello everybody, Mike here, baseball collector. Happy Monday to everybody. Hope you all had a good weekend. I did, hanging out at the lake. It's the only thing where you can get away from this oppressive heat here in Texas. I think, 102, 103, 104, 105 every day for a month, and it's going to be like that for another couple of weeks. So miserable, staying inside a lot, but it gives me time to look at cards, which is fun. And I wanted to go over, I got a card today that, although not a expensive card, is kind of a significant card. For the last, I don't even know how long I've been doing it. 4, 5, 6 years, maybe longer. I've been working on a massive project called the 4-decade set. Originally, it was called the 3-decade set. And what it is trying to get every Hall of Famer. And originally it was the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And each of those decades and all the different top sets, just base issue top sets that came out. And there were a lot of them. And then I decided to add the 50s because I'm crazy. And I also love the 50s. It's probably my favorite decade of cards by far. And when I started doing this, I kind of looked at it as a lifelong project. And I think when you're collecting something for a long time and you're going to be working on that project for a long time, it's important to celebrate the milestones that go along the way. And the significance of the card that I got today is it left me with only 300 cards left to get for the entire 4-decade set. My goal and plan is to make the last card that I have to get, the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle. We will see how long that takes and how long it takes to save up for it and all that good stuff. But that's kind of my goal at this point. Things can change, but I love doing this. I love collecting Hall of Famers. I love getting the cards. And this is a set project, whatever you want to call it, that is every base card, obviously, of each player. And then if they're on a league leader card, a record breaker, a multiplayer card, combo card, all of those I include. If there are pictures on it, I want to have it. And it's pretty ambitious. It is not everybody asks me all the time is, where do I find that set? And the answer is, I kind of did it myself. There are decade sets for each decade on the PSA set registry. You can get 60s Hall of Famers, 70s Hall of Famers, 80s, even 50s Topps. They don't have a 50s Bowman one, but I'm doing those as well. And so I just have it on a giant spreadsheet right over here that I track everything, and I enjoy that. So I wanted to go over some numbers just to tell you guys where I'm at. It also helps me kind of mark a line in the sand of, on this date, whatever today is, August 7th, here's where I was. How long will it take me to get the next 100 cards, for example? The total project is 2,460 cards. And I want them all slabbed. Not necessarily PSA. I already have some that aren't PSA, and I'm counting them like they're good. I have them. I'm just not counting them if they're raw. So, or ungraded, as John Mangini would say. But the total is 2,460. I'm at 2,160. Like I said, I need 300 cards, 87.8% complete. It's hard to imagine. All those cards, I have 87% of them, almost 89% of them. In the 50s, there's 473 Hall of Famers on cards. I have 404. That means I'm 85% done there, and I'm rounding a little bit. 1960s, I've got 90% done, which is actually, no, the 80s have the most, but 60s have 669 cards on Hall of Famers. I have 602. 70s, 645. I have 584, little over 90% there. And in the 80s, 673, which is the largest decade of cards picturing Hall of Famers. 570 of them I have, 103 still needed, about 85% there. So I've been pretty consistent. It's not like I'm dominating in one decade and neglecting any other decades. I'm pretty consistent in terms of percent complete. But ironically, I have the most years complete. I have 9 years done completely, where I have the whole run of Hall of Famers. Those are in, but 7 of those 9 are in the 1950s. So I have 53 tops done, 54 Bowman, 54 tops, 55, 56, and 57 tops, 59 and 60 tops, and then 73 tops. A lot of the years I'm missing 1 or 2 or 3 cards. The year with the lowest percent complete is 1950 Bowman, which is why that was a focus for me at the National, and I picked up a couple of cards for that set. 1950 Bowman. And then the year that I need the most just cards, period, not necessarily percentage complete, is 1983 tops. And I still need 26 cards in the 83 tops. And I'm 73% complete. So there's like 100 Hall of Famers in the 1983 top set pictured, because they had that year, they had the regular card and then the super veteran cards and team leaders, league leaders. Like there's a lot of cards in that set in 1983 tops. So yeah, it's just, it's kind of this just fun ride, right? Trying to find these cards, adding them to collection. It's obviously not something I solely focus on. I have tons of other things that I do, but it's one of those, hey, every once in a while I just go, okay, let me go see if I can find any, look at a certain year and just try to fill some gaps, see if there's anything on eBay or My Slabs or wherever I can look to try to start filling in those gaps. And yeah, and I just appreciate everybody coming along. I mean, it's part crazy, part fun, lots fun. Would love to hear what you guys think down below about that, and maybe some encouraging words to keep going, because I picked off a lot of the low-hanging fruit. The cards I need now are you know, stuff that's either hard to find because it's just not graded that much. For example, I have all the 80s and 70s cards pretty much raw, and I could send them in and get them graded, but you know, then it breaks up the set that I have that I ultimately want to put in a binder, and all kinds of, you know, complications in my own brain, right? That probably somebody else would go, well, that's silly, just do it this way, you know? And so any suggestions would be great. Let me flip this around real quick. I'm going to show you the card that made it to where I only have 300 left to get. See you in a second. All right, this will be quick. Like I said, 1 card mail day. Not, again, an expensive card. 1966 tops, Ron Santo, and a very beautiful PSA 5. So that will get logged, cataloged, put on the PSA set registry, and go over to the Beast, where it will live in its forever home. But yep, 66. Just again, I was looking at 66 tops one day, and most of them are way more expensive than they need to be, and this one was cheap, and so I was like, all right, there you go. The only negative of looking for so many things is I am sure I miss out a lot on cards that come up for auction that go for reasonable prices that I just don't see because I'm not looking for only one thing at any given time. But that's okay. It makes it, it's about the journey. And so there you go. That is it for today, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Keep collecting.